Just imagine, pioneers, that this day will never ever come again. This moment will never ever happen again. It's a pretty scary thought, but it's amazing when you realize you can make the best of this day. Are you going to make the best of this day, pioneers? Or are you going to squander the opportunity? You see, pioneers, only the uncommon 1% adopt this mindset, and that's why only 1% of people succeed. And only the uncommon 1%, the chosen ones, the rare ones, can see this. And if it were easy, everyone would adopt this mindset and follow their hearts. But only the uncommon 1% make sacrifices, little and small sacrifices, for bigger and better things. They go the path unchosen, and they leave a trail, and they follow their hearts. Only the uncommon 1% wake up early, go to bed late. We've been up since 1 a.m. yesterday. We ain't slept yet, and we're here to give you this message. Can I get a hello? Only 1% of people plant seeds that their future self can eat from. Only 1% of people prepare themselves for a marathon while everybody else is running a sprint. So many people want to hang out at the finish line, hardly anybody wants to run the race. Only a small few chosen pioneer, 1% rare selection of people take self-accountability and self-responsibility for where they are in life right now today and where they're gonna be one day. And this is why only the uncommon rare 1% succeed. No one is in your way except for you, pioneers. Are you an uncommon rare 1% pioneer, a chosen one? Or are you gonna squander the opportunity and waste it? You can become both the internal student and the master at the same time. Sending all of you pioneers much love. Let's breathe. That's beautiful. Let's go. Breathing in that good ass breath, that energy, that prana, that pneuma, that life force. I wake up just to raise the frequency and raise the vibration. And I've been doing it since 1 a.m. yesterday. So take that energy, take that good love. Start of the week, baby. Still on Monday for me, Manifestation Day. I want to talk about the 5 secrets to start your day off right, to teach you how to attract abundance, success, wealth, and prosperity in your life. People are like, Coach, why are you always in a good mood? Why do you always say you're blessed when I ask you how you're doing? Why are you always dreaming big? How come you're always leveling up and evolving? And I tell them, it has everything to do with these 5 secret mindsets I use to start my day off right. First thing is I make my bed. I accomplish the first task so I can accomplish any other task the rest of the day. Let's go. Beautiful pioneers, we're here. Shout out to every one of you that made it to this small Facebook channel. If you're watching this video, may this new week bring you new abundance, prosperity, happiness, love, and wealth. And if you're on that level, hit that like button, hit that share button. If you support the real, the truth, the spice, share this video with other conscious beings. I want to share with you the 5 secret mindsets to start your day off right. A lot of you have seen me day in and day out for years, and you keep asking me, how come you're so consistent? Are you a Martian? I'm definitely 400 years old. I'm outside the firmament. I've done seen it all, pioneers. And it has everything to do with the mindset. And I've been coaching people for years now about the science and the secrets of becoming your greatest version, your higher self. Don't listen and believe what I'm telling you. Find your own truths, but take a look at my results and realize it wasn't an accident. It was because of my mindset. Some people just say, wake up at 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter what time you wake up. It matters what you're doing when you wake up, when your brain is in the most amazing opportunistic opportunity for the day. Are you waking up and jumping straight into the matrix in your phone? Or are you spending time in your mind? So let's talk about the 5 secret mindsets so you can achieve excellence, success, abundance, love, wealth, and prosperity. So pioneers, people ask me, can I make a video about how I can start my day off right? And I'm like, that's easy. I'm gonna share with you what I do. It's all a mindset. A lot of people think that some people are just different. Oh yeah, we're built different. Some of us are very special, but we're all one. Unity. We're all the same. The difference is there are people who see opportunity, and then there are people who don't, and people who squander it. There's 24 hours in a day, 12 at day, 12 at night. Everybody got the same 24 hours in a day, but how come people are producing different results? It's because they're doing something differently. It has everything to do with how they're starting their day. My success has everything to do with starting my day off right. Starting my day off saying I am gonna have a great day. So the first secret mindset to start your day off right, for success, wealth, love, happiness, abundance, prosperity, all of that greatness, is waking up on the right side of the bed, not the wrong side of the bed. Number 1 is I am willing and I am able. I am willing and I am able. Damn, coach, you've been out here a couple years, you got over a couple hundred videos, and you keep going. How? Because I'm willing and I'm able. Because I love what I do. When you wake up willing and able and loving what you do, you lose your excuses. Some people didn't even get to wake up today. R.I.P. Troy Allison. I love you, brother. But we still gotta wake up every single day with gratitude. None of this had to happen, but it did. You see, I wake up saying I'm able-bodied. I can do anything. Why am I gonna stay in bed all day, Netflixing and chilling, squandering my opportunities, being lazy? Yeah, I could take a day off, but I'm still gonna show up because I'm willing and I'm able. Step 1. When you start your day off with that mindset, you'll do phenomenal, amazing things. You'll wake up knowing that you can be the hero of your own story, the president of your own paradigm. You'll know that the excuses you once had aren't even important anymore because they no longer exist. It's now time to give yourself the reason to do something. Be the change you want to see in the world right now today. Can I get a hello? I am willing, I am able. It's amazing what a run in the first of the morning will do for your body, mind, soul. I am willing, I am able. Say that every single day. Manifest your life. I am willing, I am able. I am. Once you start speaking those words into existence, your whole entire day becomes exceptionally wonderful. Pioneers, the second secret mindset to start your day off right. For success, wealth, happiness, prosperity, all of that abundance and great stuff it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new start. We're in a time loop, baby. You see, this is so underrated. A lot of people don't wake up knowing that it's a whole new start, a whole new day. And we can't be burdened by yesterday's worries or tomorrow's whatever. We gotta live in the present. Today is a whole new start. You gotta let go of what no longer serves you to make space for what will inspire you, because it's a new start today. And today I'm gonna focus on everything that is working instead of everything that is not working. It is so easy to wake up complaining and being distracted. And remember, if it's a distraction, it's not helping you evolve. It's so easy to wake up feeling sorry for ourselves. But guess what? It won't change a damn thing. But will change something is when you wake up knowing that today is a new start, a new dawn. Go outside. Let that breeze blow on your face. That sun hit you in your face. Take a deep breath of that fresh air. Yesterday's burdens no longer have to keep you in chains and shackles. You no longer have to be a burden to your past. My past is not my future. I may have done what they say I did, but I am not who they say I am. I define my story. The third secret mindset, deep divers, to start your day off right, for prosperity, health, wealth, love, abundance, all of that great stuff. I say this every single day. I have no obligation to my former self, just my present self. Slow motion for me. Can I get a hello? I have no obligation to my past life. I lost all of the labels and the groupthink that society placed on me. And I thought, you know what? If these sorcerers and these greatest alchemists on this, architects and alchemists in this realm can manifest it, well then I can manifest my reality too. And that's the reason why I'm evolving, leveling up, because there's levels of this shit. I'm changing my life day in and day out because it's a new dawn. I'm letting go of who I was yesterday and being who I am today, my higher self. I have no obligation to my former life. I know I was a slime ball, but that was back then. Today's a whole new start, whole new day, whole new me. So it's powerful to say, you know what? I have no obligation to my former self. This, Pioneers, is how you really start your day off right. What is the fourth method, deep divers, to starting your day off right? The fourth mindset to start your day off right. It is all about you realizing that today you're not going to waste time. I'm not going to waste time. I got the same 24 hours in a day that anybody else does. I'm not going to squander a damn minute of it, second of it. I'm not going to waste time today. And I'm not going to take this day for granted, because this day will never ever come again. When you wake up with that mindset and you say, I'm not going to take it for granted, 24/7, 365, 366 on leap year, I'm going in, fourth quarter overtime, I'm going to reach my outcome, because this day will never come again. And tomorrow is never promised. Everybody thinks they have time. Time heals, time heals. Well, nobody wants to talk about the things that time kills. They want to postpone their dream because they're consistent and stagnant, Netflix and chilling in that happy relationship that they're not even happy in, but been in it for 5 years, in that job that keeps them just over broke, struggling. What? I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. You ain't never going to do it unless you start doing it right now, today. Be the change you want to see today. Are you working on the weekend, on your days off? Because I am. 24/7, 365. Because if you're not, it's going to be hard to start now. If you wake up every single day saying, I'm not going to waste this day, waste my time, because it's never going to come again. I'm not going to take this opportunity this day for granted. I'm not going to squander. What's the fifth mindset? The secret mindset to starting your day off right. That's changed my entire life. Be open to something new every single day. Be open to change. Be open to learn new people, new information. Be open to new possibilities. Let go of old ways of thinking and that group think, that ideology that somebody else has instilled for you. Your teachers, your doctors, your parents that want you to be this and that. What do you want to be? And then everything else will follow suit. We must remind ourselves, a lot of people are afraid of change. They're scared of what people will think of them. They're not open to something new. And that's the reason why they get stuck in yesterday's problems. So every single day, I say, you know what? It's time to be open to something new. To give everybody else a chance. Because I'll tell you this, Pioneers, most people say, I only trust myself, I only trust my parents, my kids. I trust everybody, but I only believe in myself. Be open to something new. Go to new places. Let me learn something new about yourself. Learn something new about the world, about the people around you. Take a trip into the forest and immerse yourself into nature. Because there's no place I'd rather be than with the birds, bees, and the leaves and trees. Every day in nature is not the same. There's no 2 days in nature the same. Every day in nature is new. But everybody wakes up every day with this mindset of they know it all, and that's why people grow old. And they look back and they wonder, what if? You ain't finished yet, pioneers. Let me repeat that. You're not finished yet. And when you remind yourself that you're not finished, you're open to something new, that today is a new dawn, new day, I'm gonna be a new me. That's when miracles start to come into your life. That's when you become the alchemist and the architect of your reality. And those are the 5 secret mindsets to start your day off right, pioneers. And I hope you take notes and you use them. Hit that like button, that share button to get it out to more high conscious vibrational beings that are ready to raise the frequency, raise the vibration. I want you to remind yourself, when you start your day off right, you start your life off right. And then you'll just be saying, it feels so good to be alive. Can I get a hello? Slow motion for me. I didn't start my day off arguing with somebody. I started my day off with myself, making sure my son was okay. I started this day off making sure this video would inspire you. And again, I've been doing it since yesterday. Over 24 hours going in to give you this message. So check out the content we're doing here at the Daily Candle Close News. If you want more educational, informational, high vibrational content like this, artwork like this. I don't even like to use that content word. It's got the word content in it. It's got the word con in it. I ain't trying to con nobody. Pioneers, I'm here to remind you, what you do first in the day will set the tone for the rest of the day, which will set the tone for the rest of your life. And your success and your failure lies exactly in your hands, in the way you start your day. So it's so important to do these things. It's not about how you wake up, it's about what you're doing in those first moments when your brain is in its most active state. I've already manifested, people. It's time for you to start too, but in my mind, I'm just getting started. And if I'm only getting started, what are you doing? Answer that, pioneers. I love all of you. And that's why it's so amazing to be out here again on 12/13 Tuesday, the day of Mars. Sending you all much love and high vibrations, trying to guide you into becoming your higher self, because I've always believed that what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset, and what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And I've always just wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So kick back, relax, grab your favorite drink, your favorite snack, light up your favorite strand, make your favorite espresso and coffee, and then just enjoy the video that we're going to be sharing with you all today. Cryptocurrency technical analysis, some dates that we'll be talking about, just some things to expect as we continue through December. But let's go ahead and get started straight into some technical analysis before we get into some more market psychology and some date numerologies and events and holidays to look out for heading into the remainder of this very ritualistic month of December. So we'll start for those that want just a quick crypto technical analysis and they can get out of here, those that think they know it all, instead of just want to watch to the end and fully learn and engulf what we're teaching here. So if we look at Bitcoin right now on a daily time frame, we're seeing that we're consistently just holding a horizontal structure of around 16,100 to 17,000 psychologically. Right now, that 17.5 that we've been looking to break back above and hold multiple daily candle closes above to show a true higher high over these past few consolidation days sideways, right below this resistance of psychologically, we're gonna say $17,000. It's a little above, but we're not gonna be picky here. And but we see we've been in this huge falling descending wedge pattern with a 68% chance to break out to the upside. but we know it could come all the way down here over time into the first quarter of next year before it does break out. We tend to see a 75 to 80% apex of these triangles or patterns fulfilled before we get our potential breakout. So first quarter of next year, like we've been talking about, are going to be important to pay attention to. A lot of things that are going to happen are going to be based on these quote unquote Fed pivots that I'm hearing a lot about lately, and how hawkish the Fed is. I really feel like the stock market is going to lead Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So right now we have this key support level that we've finally got it back above of psychologically 17,000 that we do not want to lose support of, or psychologically we're coming right back down to this 16,100, the golden ratio of phi, or we're coming right back down to around 15,000, 900, possibly this, even lower to the bottom side of this trend line to around 14,005, possibly, potentially even lower. Now, if we get a bullish breakout and a back test and then a bounce off of this 17,200 range, that's going to be bullish, okay? But we know that the CPI data is coming out today and inflation numbers will be released. We know this can move the markets, and that's going to be coming out in about 3 hours, about 8:30. And also tomorrow we have the Fed's FOMC meeting and rate hike, which is talked about a 50 point or possibly even less basis point hike. So hopefully it comes out that or lower, and that gives some momentum for the bulls to the upside that we need to be prepared for it, to de-risk before we get another bull trap. So very important. We don't want to get up here and buy in when we can potentially get another bull trap in this downtrend, setting a lower high, and then watch what we just purchased evaporate. If we've been accumulating these lows and we get this rally to around 19k, 20k psychologically, then we want to be able to de-risk, not financial advice. So something I want to talk about is always these 322, 223 exponential moving averages, tying us into some of our favorite pals who help run the show, the Brotherhood of Death, Skull and Bones, Order 322, also known as the Bonesmen. So I call this the kiss of death. We see these moving averages in the sloping downward price action, which is not bullish. That's kind of bearish. So if we were to continue to just see these slope down over time, and if I were to draw something like this and we just see them slope down, and we potentially were to see Bitcoin make some kind of rally up towards this and hit it, I would potentially call this the kiss of Judas, the betrayal of Jesus, where we could potentially get some point of a rejection, and it's right there in a line with previous resistance in the past that we haven't been able to break back above, which is essentially this $22,300 range. So again, the 223 all coming into play, something I've been paying attention to. If we were to continue to see December heading into the new moon, which is typically bullish, bringing us some positive momentum into the markets, where would be the next great de-risking opportunity before we can, over the long term, accumulate again? But essentially Bitcoin can stay in this range for an extended point of time, even into next year. which isn't amazing, but it's not going to be bull market all over again. Right now, everybody's scared. FTX destroyed people, Terra Luna destroyed people, Celsius and BlockFi destroyed people, Three Arrows Capital, you name it, Sam Bankman-Fried, all the fraud. There's nonsense going around cryptocurrency everywhere because they want you panicked and not buying the lows. Not financial advice, but we're here for you, pioneers, and we're all going to make it. So now let's go to Bitcoin on the 2-hour time frame, and this is something we want to talk about. We have our first high of this initial breakout of this previous 2-hour chart, falling trend, falling wedge pattern with a 6 to 8% chance of breakout. We got that. So we have our first high right here, with a slightly higher high. And now we did not want this to be a lower high, but guess what? We've got our third higher high in structure, confirming a trend is still possible towards the upside. But where is our next rejection range? Is it this 181 that we get when we type out Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin? We know a very volatile range. Being, I spelled both of these wrong, sorry. But boom, being the 42nd prime number. That's very important. Did we get stopped out at that possible $18,100 range where we've seen previous rejections going back in the past, being the 42nd prime number, this 181, always tying us into this Saturn, Father Time, Chronos, Odin character, that 42. So we'll talk about that probably briefly later. But where can we potentially see this higher high now forming, this trend confirm, still in a trend reversal to the upside now that we've got a higher high in structure, finally got it back above these two exponential moving averages of the 322-223. Where do we get our next rejection range, bear trap? That's going to bring us down even lower. So, that's not what the bulls are going to want to see. So right now the support has to hold at 17,500. We need to break this 17,500 range, and especially this 174 where we just seem to continue to get major rejections from. So being 6 days away from our full moon, we're kind of exiting out of that window of bearish energy. So could we see a rally up until the December new moon, which is, if I'm not mistaken, right there around the 21st, 22nd, where we tend to get a market cycle reset to the market. So the 23rd, so right there after the 21st, 22nd pivot point every month that we tend to see in these markets. So this new moon, we could see bullish energy in the charts for Bitcoin, bringing us up to some of these target ranges that we prepared you for in the past. I don't know. I would say psychologically right now up to as high as this 19 to 20k psychologically. It's going to be really hard to get back above this bull trap top before April or March of next year. I really do believe it's still going to take some time to continue to fill out this final low and bottom base form that we've been filling out for over a year now. So just some things that I wanted to bring up and discuss, especially with the CPI data coming out today, the Fed's newest meeting. It's all about to happen, and let's see what takes place. Everything comes down to the next few days and weeks, and we'll be again discussing a lot of this in this video today. So just a little short TA for those that aren't interested in all the minutia and monotony that we go over here. So let's talk about some key dates coming up to be prepared for. And we'll start with going back 2 days from now, which today is again 12/13, but 2 days ago was Sunday, the day of the sun, 12/11, which was exactly 33 days from our last lunar eclipse that brought a sell off in the cryptocurrency markets with a low that came in on 11/9, the mirror of 9/11. So we know what happened on 9/11, 2001. We saw the Twin Towers come down, and we get a low in the market right now on 11/9. So very symbolic. So tying our dates back to this time period in this lunar eclipse that brought a sell-off in the markets, it was 4 weeks and 5 days, which is not surprising because we know we get that same 45 in Bitcoin. So paying attention to the volatility today with this 45 being a 4-week, 5-day connection to this time period right here. So not only that, it's a 33-day time period. We know how transmutaic this number is. We know water unfreezes at 33 degrees. It's the number of ascension, and I'll show you that as well when we type out ascension, ASCENSION. We get that same 33 and that very biblical 144 that we'll be discussing even more thoroughly in today's video, because I kind of got some backlash from some of those cult members over the short 144 decode that I did around the Bitcoin 144-day cycle. But some people, they're still asleep and in someone else's group thinking cult ideology and don't know how to, understand that I was simply just showing connections to this 144-day cycle. So I'm going to touch even more on it today. But with all that being said, back to the date numerology and talking about this very esoteric connection to Sunday, 12/11, because we've been talking about this time period leading into yesterday, 12/12, which was Monday, the day the stock markets opened. And then if we connected that back to the low that Bitcoin most recently had on 11/9 on the lunar eclipse, we see that it is again a 33-day time period. So very valuable and very important that we pay attention to this and just always pay attention to the numerological connections. So all right, see where I want to go from there. So we know we are in the 12th month of the Gregorian system, which is, a scam calendar, and yesterday was the 12th day, which also had a date numerology that added up to 12 as well. So I thought that was pretty important, 12 hours in the day, 12 hours at night. We have 12 cranial nerves, which are the 12 disciples that are talked about in the Bible, controlled by the 12 zodiacs. All very esoteric. This 12 is a very, very powerful number. So, just something I wanted to continue to bring up. Alright, so we've talked about that. Now let's go back to the start of Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah. And we see that yesterday was 11 weeks and 1 day since the start of Rosh Hashanah and the Jewish Hebrew New Year this year, September 25th. And I find that very, very symbolic, because when we go back to last year, the 69K top, something I've shared for a year now, when Bitcoin hit a 69K top, it was on Wednesday, November the 10th, which is 1110. Drop the 0, it was the 111 date of the year. So we know that this 111 number is very important. It's a manifestation number, and it's all about manifestation here on this channel. The 111 is a very powerful angel number that signifies manifesting the manifestation of thoughts into reality. This number is a combination of energy and attributes of the angel numbers 1 and the master number 11. So very important. So when I see this 111 number, I'll always take it into high consideration when I find these connections, especially around these dates that we prepared you for quite some time. The last several videos we're talking about this 12-12 day in the 12th month of the year. We know Deci is really 10. We know December is really the 10th month of the year. So irrelevant. But if we were to pay attention to it like they want us to on the Gregorian calendar, then we know it's the 12th month. So what gets really interesting is we have Saturnalia coming up, which I've told you guys will happen on the 17th through the 23rd. So that's going to be all during the 50th week of the year. And we know that's important because we know we're in the Jubilee year, the very biblical Jubilee year. So I expect this 50th week of the year around December 16th, 17th, and 18th. The 18th being the start of a very lesser celebrated holiday, Hanukkah. Probably not even in the top 10 celebrations of Judaism holidays. So very important. This Saturnalia Day, though, this year is a festival, Roman festival and holiday, again, that we talked about, that is in honor of the god Saturn. And it's amazing that this year it is falling on a day that is actually Saturday, Saturn Day, the day of Saturn, December 17th. So very important, leaving 14 days left in the year. And we know Bitcoin is currently in its 14-year anniversary since its inception. We know this number of 14 has been ritualized since the inception of Bitcoin. It's highly tied to this number 14. So very important for a year now, leading into April 5th of 2022 this year, or leading into, October 31st, Samhain, Halloween this year. We knew Bitcoin was 13, getting ready to transition into its 14-year-old birthday. And there's a lot to say about this 14 number. It ties us into some very powerful things like God, giving us that same 14 in Chaldean, the purest cipher, or man. Not man, but time, which is controlled some by this God character. But anyways, time is a construct, a constant. But we know this 14 ties us back into Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god that was chopped up into 14 pieces. So another way to look at this 14 is we just exited out of this Shemitah year, this 7-year sabbatical year, and 14 is 7 plus 7. So very important that we just make these connections. All right. So if we go back to continuing to make more connections to this 17 and Saturnalia connection starting on the 17th, we're going to actually take this back to the full moon, the lunar eclipse, as a matter of fact, real quick, and see were there some connections. 38 days. No, I'm not seeing anything right there. Well, actually, yeah, I'm seeing just one connection. Just that Saturnalia is starting on Saturday, Saturn Day, paying homage to the god of Saturn, which is also known as Kronos, Odin, the god of the harvest. And we just exited out of the Shemitah year, and we've been seeing death rituals left and right, people getting harvested, like the queen who died right after the full harvest moon. And we're seeing a lot of these individuals, especially a lot of women figures, that are passing away in the year of the sacred feminine, like Kirstie Alley, who recently passed away at 71 years old. So I'm going to add this into my decode to show you how everything in life is math and numbers. And this 1771 number is very important, because 7 times 1, or 1 times 7, is 7. And we've been in and just transitioned out of the 7th 7-year sabbatical cycle, which was the 49th year, the square root of 7. So Kirstie Alley just passed away at 71 years old. And we know that, again, when we use math, we know we're in the year of the sacred feminine, and that gives us 71 in numerology. So not surprising that we see Kirstie Alley die at 71 years old. But not only that, is when you do the date connections from the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year and Rosh Hashanah this year of 9/25, September 25th, 2022, and you take it to December 5th, the day that Kirstie Alley died, you can see it was a span of 71 days. Not surprising that we see these things. There's that 14 number. You can say on this day it was her time. 14 was determined by, if you believe in God, 14 instead of the universe, like as I do, the cosmos, the divine source energy, that we are all unity and one. You can see that this is always mathematically pre-programmed to an algorithmic code. So again, 17 is the 7th prime number, and 17 is the mirror of 71. This all comes back to this 7-year sabbatical cycle. So again, this 17 number, we know we get, like we talked about, in God. Okay, we get this in man. Kirstie Alley was mankind. Okay, so she lived on earth, you guys, that same 17. All right, we know they teach us about heaven, which gives us 107. Drop the 0 in the rules of numerology and gematria, you get the same 17. And they teach us about hell, giving us that same 17. But it's just simply, it was her life and it was her time, 17. So it's all very powerful. And I'm not even done there, because when you type out her name, Kirstie Louise Alley, you're getting the 227, which is the 49th prime number. And we just exited out of the 49th year of the Shemitah, the 7th 7-year sabbatical year, and headed into the 50th year jubilee. So the 49th year was the harvest year, all coming back to the 7, you guys. 83 that we get in Shemitah, the Shemitah year, when we type it out. So undeniable, irrefutable. And when you just type out her first and last name, you're getting 79, which is the 22nd prime number, and she died in 2022. So I just thought some very, eye-opening things that I could share with you on this decode. That, life is math, life is numbers, the golden ratio of phi, pi, the periodic table of elements. It's all connected together, you guys. We were made in the image of the Elohim. We are made up of elements. And it's all ran by math. And it's a predetermined algorithmic code. The matrix is womb, or French for matrice. Okay? And that's what we live in. Remember that. So, I've been talking about a lot of this a lot. And you should all be well aware of it if you're, a true pioneer here. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. Alright. So, we just talked about the 16th, 17th, about starting Saturnalia, and then we have the 18th through the 26th, which will be Hanukkah. Like I said, a lesser celebrated holiday, which will be starting on the sunset of the 18th, and it will end at nightfall of the 26th, so the day after Christmas. Very important that week 8-day, I believe, time period leading into the day after Christmas. And so we've obviously got Christmas coming up, Nimrod's birthday, Jesus's birthday. We're in this new world age where we have so many holidays just tying in together, and all of them ultimately come back to the mythologies: Saturn and Jupiter, ancient Egyptian and Sumerian mythologies. And I think it's important for those that are interested in the Abrahamic religions of Christianity and all this other modern day religion. You'll see it's all the same story, just rewritten, and it's all cult worship and sun worship. And it's so important while we study the mythologies and the origins of where the English language and all these other languages and beliefs came from. It's all the same Greco-Roman mythology that's been anthropomorphized into these stories that get taught to us in the 20th century. So, moving on, we have this Christmas Day, Jesus' birthday, Nimrod's birthday, or more importantly, it is the day that the Son, aka Jesus, the Son, resurrects again. Again, Jesus died for 3 days and then he rose from the dead. Well, Wednesday, December 21st, usually it's December 22nd some years, is the winter solstice where the sun dies. It's the last visible day of the sun and the shortest day of the year, and the sun then dies for 3 days and is not resurrected again until December 25th, Christmas, Nimrod's birthday, aka Jesus's birthday, aka the sun. Alright, do your research on the lazy O. The Son in the Bible, the Son of God that they talk about, is the Son to man, not the Son of man. Remember that. So very important. Go to a body of water at sunset, at sunrise, and you'll see the sun walks across water. Its shadow walks across water every single day. The only sun to ever walk across water. So this is something very important to bring up because it's within this time frame of Saturnalia, Hanukkah, Christmas. Very important. These are known as, to some, the darkest days of the year. The 3 darkest days of the year in this hemisphere. So Christmas Eve is going to be a very important day to talk about this year. We'll go to that date of the 24th, and we'll tie it not back to the start of. Yeah, I don't see no connections there. We'll tie it back to this latest lunar eclipse and see if there's any profound connections. 46 days, 6 weeks, 4 days, the mirror of 46. There's 64, squares on a checkerboard. But this day, Christmas Eve, will be a day leaving 7 days left in the year. And just like we've been talking about with Saturn and the Shemitah, it all comes back to the number of 7 this year. Keep that in mind. 7 days left in the year, right before Christmas, right after this important Shemitah year, which was the 7th cycle of 7, which is now we're in the Jubilee year. This is going to be very, very powerful. All right. And then Christmas, it adds up to 79, which is the 22nd prime number. 43, which is the 14th prime number. Bitcoin's 14 years old. 6 days left in the year. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. Man was created on the 6th day. This could be a very powerful day as well. 47 days since the last lunar eclipse, and Bitcoin hit its low on the 9th. But we know Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, is 47 years old this year. But this is 1 month and 17 days since our lunar eclipse sell-off on Christmas. And we know Bitcoin equals 117 in numerology. So I'm going to be paying attention to this very, very closely around Christmas, you guys. So, very important. Alright, so this is all connecting us into two very important elements, this Christmas date that we're talking about. We're going to see this 79, which is the atomic number for the element of gold. And if we pull our periodic table of elements back up, we can see that that gold element gives us an atomic number of 79. So Christmas adds up to be a golden day, the day the sun rises again. Look at the symbol for gold over here by the Royal Society of Chemistry. They give us these symbols, this truth hidden in plain sight. You're gold. Stay golden, pony boy. You're the sun that charges the big sun. You're the little battery. You have an anode and a cathode in your body. So remember that. But the 79, Christmas adds up to 79 in date numerology, so that's going to be very important. And it's, again, a 47-day span since our 11/8 full moon. And it was a lunar eclipse that brought a sell-off in the market. This 47 is the atomic number right here, pay attention, to silver. So the sun and the moon tying in here. What runs our realm in reality? The sun and the moon. The demiurge, the creator, the destroyer. Horus versus Set, day versus night. Jesus versus Lucifer, black versus white. It's called duality consciousness. The yin and the yang, ladies and gentlemen. So again, this 47 and 79 date numerology on Christmas, being a 47-day time period, is tying us back into silver and gold, the elements, tying us back into the sun and the moon. And we know Bitcoin, this 117 ties us into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is considered to be the gold of cryptocurrency. So very, very important for us to pay attention to. Undeniable. So, again, and this 79 being the 22nd prime number, that's going to tie us into the 22nd prime number and the 22nd element, which is titanium. So let's take this even further. Titanium, that is the Titans. We are the voices between the Titans and the Immortals. Remember that. So, undeniable. I love using just all these esoteric hidden principles in this realm. We're talking about crypto, which is krypton, the krypton element. Okay? Alright? But crypto is derived from the Greek word kryptos, which means hidden. Okay? So cryptocurrency has been a hidden money used by the elites to transfer the world into a new monetary blockchain slavery system since the 1971 Nixon shock. So very important, something we've talked about. You got to think about all the mythological connections here. Remember, this is the periodic table of elements. El, the supreme god of gods. We are made up of elements in our body. So just pay attention to this. All very coming back to a lot of things. Alright, let's see if there were any more date connections before we get straight into the cryptocurrency technical analysis. No, we'll go ahead and just get started into the cryptocurrency technical analysis again. We're going to start this one off with the DXY, the dollar currency index. It's been a little while since we've talked about this, and I think it's going to be important to go ahead and talk about today. So, why is that? Okay, there we go. This is a Fibonacci pattern pulled back from 2016 from high to low. And, again, I've said before, we tend to get market moves for Bitcoin, the stocks, in December. We tend to get all-time highs and all-time lows around the December time frames. So, go back in time and see if that correlates with any of your stocks. But it's pretty amazing when you see these, when these things come into fruition like we've been teaching here. Just one example, we didn't see a new all-time high for almost 6 years, up until May of 2022. So roughly 6+ years, you guys. Just think about that. And then where do we recently just hit our top? Right there close to Q4 and the power of it. Right there around September and the start of Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah, the end of the Shemitah, the start of the Jubilee year. So let's talk about this. We see this massive, grandiose W pattern breakout that, has been just amazing. I love watching W pattern breakouts play out in the cards. We had this grandiose cup and handle pattern with a back test, our handle that broke out with that measured move, broke us out almost up to our 115 point top that we were, really adamant about seeing. But anyways, this is in a logarithmic scale with logarithmic scale turned on in the fib settings. You can do that by scrolling down to the bottom, and there you go. I am now also in logarithmic scale, and this is amazing because I can see a clean W pattern breakout. And when we broke out of this clean W pattern breakout and cup and handle, we went straight into the 1618, the golden ratio. Perfectly tapped it, got rejected harshly, immediately, and you can tell that this is a rejection because it's a red candle close on the daily time frame. So very, very important. Maybe this is the weekly, the weekly time frame that I'm looking at. So when your buying pressure gets exhausted and it's overbought, overheld, and getting exhausted at the perfect 1618, the golden ratio of 5, this is perfectly normal. We teach you about this. If we can't get support above it and held, we tend to come back down to the 1 or the 888 or the golden pocket before getting a automatic rally. So this perfect W pattern breakout has been fulfilled, and I'm not counting these two twin tower candles right here. That was a massive absorption and rejection, 9/11 towers pattern that we like to consider. We'll consider the neckline of this measured move for the W to be from the 786, the top of the golden pocket, all the way down to our low, our first previous low, and then we'll consider that our neckline, and you can perfectly see that our measured move for the W pattern breakout, not only the cup and handle, they were both fulfilled. So I don't want to go all over the place with this technical analysis, but I do think it's important we talk about this. We had a buying climax, selling climax, automatic rally, and we had the same fake out, shake out, boom. And then now we just perfectly climbed out of that. Again, this was over 6 to 8 years total. But these were clean and beautiful W patterns and cup and handles that we've spoken about recently. Well, it's been about a month or so, but we can still see automatic rally come back up to, I don't know, possibly back up to around this 111 in a possible ABC corrective pattern back down to the golden pocket before continuing over the next few years even higher for this dollar. So in English, this translates to the fact that we've completed the two measured moves that we've been watching over the last several years. Is there more room to go to the upside? Yes. This 119 been very adamant on seeing that eventually. But let's just consider this analysis for right now, something that may be foreign to people and not, some less seasoned investors. When the dollar index is bullish, the rest of the market looks bearish. When the DXY starts to get bearish, the rest of the market starts to get bullish. So add that to all the Bitcoin TA I was talking about earlier with potential upside. But during the Shemitah year and the Jubilee year, we get lots of manipulation. So remember that. Very volatile, speculative time periods between tech stocks, cryptocurrencies, and these things are going to do whatever the market maker wants them to do because they're pre-programmed. Even if you're a professional investor and you know what TA is, you can still get distracted. But if you know what this is and how this market is ran on the things that we teach here, the moon cycles, the numerology, gematria, ancient theological teachings, when you learn what TA is, then you'll be okay. You won't get worried about the black swans and the manipulations and the Sam Bankman-Fried and Freed and the BlockFi and CBS, whatever. Once you learn about the lunar cycle and the eclipses and these more esoteric principles around the numbers and the pre-programmed algorithmic codes that are predetermined since the genesis of these blockchains inceptions, then you'll really be able to succeed. All of this was designed to do this. That's everything from the dollar to Google, eBay, Apple, gold, silver, XRP. They're all pre-programmed since the genesis of the inception years ago. This manipulation word is just thrown out by people who don't know TA. So I think that's important while we learn TA and learn how to invest our mindset, our truest value, before we talk shit about technical analysis and say, oh, well, it doesn't work. It's like you're talking shit about somebody else's food that they just made for you, that you've never even tried, that you don't even know how to cook. And I guarantee you, once you learn how to cook, you'd probably see that meal that you were just talking shit about in a whole new different perspective. You're going to see it takes time and effort, and it's really a serious skill that you got to put in some hard work to develop. And that's the same thing with technical analysis and investing. So moving on from there, let's go ahead and get into the Bitcoin technical analysis. because there's still not a lot to talk about. With Bitcoin, XRP, and yeah, that 19666 range is looking as a potential rally and possible rejection range. But at any point, we could also hit this 137, the 33rd prime number, and see an accumulation range as well. But now we're into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I gotta admit, this bounce that we're getting, if we zoom in, this bounce that we're getting right here on the daily time frame, especially finally breaking a higher high, confirming a upward trend reversal still, it would be perfect for recovery off of this this low right here on the 21st of November, and this 11.9 low. This would be amazing. But a couple things to say that doesn't hopefully confuse people. Another leg down by early January, the January full moon, that's still in the cards, you guys. Especially if we were to draw some kind of trend line. We'll go from kind of like the candle body closes and see where we're at. Yeah, so by the January full moon, another leg down, it like we've talked about, is still in the cards, this could easily just be a breakout of this trend line, so the January 6th, which is going to be actually a amazing, like we talked about in that last video, 150-day time period from this recent top all the way over to the January 6th full moon. And the news is spoken so highly of this 1/6 January 6th date and the insurrection that, well, if really people knew what insurrection was by definition and not just use the word because the news used it, well, they know the real insurrection was on 11/3 when the country and the voices of the American people were stolen. That was the real insurrection, but I'll shut up. But we see this is kind of in between that 140, 144, 150 day time period. So something I wanted to bring up as well. So we can actually see crypto maintain steady and in a sideways upwards trend while we watch the stocks and Dow Jones, the Apple, Google move down for the rest of the month. Tax loss harvesting, whatever. But crypto can move up towards Christmas and the December 23rd, probably to around December 17th, the start of Saturnalia, or maybe December 28th, and before getting a pullover and come back. So, but look at this. Just multiple, we're used to seeing where we drag up slowly and then just dump. If I can get where I can see some good percentage drops, look, 15% in one day. We're used to 10%. Right here, we know this was a massive 4% in one day, 8 the next, so a total of, roughly 13%. Just massive, just manipulated downtrends after a slow, arduous grind to the upside. It wouldn't be nothing to get one final push down, grind up, boom, devastation candle, but it's not going to be devastating to us pioneers here because we've been waiting for this moment. If it was to come, could it happen on the full moon of January 6th, January 1st, that 1/1, a restart date, Genesis 1st, January 1st, new year, new cycle for the markets? Who knows? Could it happen 5 days after the full moon of January 6th on 1/11, the 1/11 date? It could be very possible. We just know there's a 3 to 5 day on, 3 to 5 day before, 3 to 5 day after, and a on the new moon, full moon day, where we tend to get energy in these markets, the lunar cycles. So, that could really shake things out if this comes into fruition. Especially if it doesn't come down any lower than 14. That would really mess people up, because a lot of people are recently calling for less than 10K Bitcoin, and it's like, I remember back when we were around 69K and we were calling that 3 weeks in advance, and then it didn't go a penny over last year. So many people were calling for 100K, 300K Bitcoin, and it never did that. And now people are calling for a sub-K Bitcoin, and people calling for absurd levels to the downside with no proof. And we've already been historically oversold on weekly and daily and monthly RSIs, and there's no other proof for downside pressure to go back under 10K. But anything can happen in the matrix. I'm not saying it can't, but I think it's important that we listen to that type of sentiment, because that's one of the ways of the pioneers. You have to go the opposite of the herd. Okay, you have to pay attention to when too many people are scared or too many people are greedy. Okay, you gotta let that be a signal for you to be more conservative and question how you're gonna approach these markets and your investment that you've spent your hard-earned money into. Just words of wisdom. It's like we talked about, only 1% of people do these things. Don't be a bull, don't be a bear, be a pioneer. Follow the numbers, follow the algorithmic code, follow the moon cycles, and it's just that simple. 99.9% of people aren't paying attention to what's going on right now and what's going on and what's to come in the future. Okay? Life-changing wealth will be made, but by how many people? How many people are going to have the mindset to take advantage of this golden opportunity, the golden ratio opportunity that we prepared you for months? And how many people are going to squander it? Okay? I mean, not many people are going to be able to say they took advantage. Take advantage when there is blood in the streets, or when it's boring. And we've been boring for months, you guys, a year now. And I've been telling everybody to take action, that we would see a relief rally. We've got multiple ones to de-risk along the way, to reaccumulate, and we've prepared you for all of those. And not financial advice, but no risk, no reward, but always invest in yourself first. Remember that. When it's exciting, people need to learn how to de-risk, and when it's boring, people need to learn how to accumulate. I'm noticing too many people think that Bitcoin's gonna go lower, and it's like, is it possible? Like I said, yes, but let's just pay attention to where we're already at, okay? We're cutting it very close to the end of a bear market bottom, if you want to quote-unquote use that terminology. Nothing's changed. We've been talking about it for months. And us pioneers are staying calm, building our investment thesis in the background, and we observe, we pay attention, and when we see a lot of retail piling up on the same idea and sentiment, we're going the opposite way. We're going to be the uncommon 1% and ultra rare. So, I haven't even looked at the fear and greed index for cryptocurrency in a minute, so let's see where that's at, that magic indicator for so many people that think matters and absolutely is just a manipulative tool of nonsense. So yes, at 27. So last week extreme fear, last month extreme fear. So if we're going to get another move to the downside around January full moon or anytime this month, it would bring us to around this 10-15 level, and that would be a great opportunity for people to start dollar cost averaging in. And then when this gets greedy, de-risk. Not financial advice, but I mean, people don't use this. They just pay attention to this right here. And I don't know, but if people want to use the knowledge that I'm teaching here, then follow the channel and go back and look at some of the work that we've done. I might make more videos in the future going back to the old way of things that I used to do, of breaking things down in a slower way. But I need to let this market play itself through, and then I need to be able to reassess what the next phase and the next cycle is gonna be. What's the next phase of this market? Right now we have so much shit going on, and we have so much shit going on with earned interest wallets, hardware wallets, exchanges going down, and what's going on with regulations and Sam Bankman-Fried and and I don't want to waste my time on that nonsense and making content on things that might change or don't work anymore because of everything that's liable to happen. All we need to know is that there are fundamental cryptocurrencies that are going to stay probably less than 300, and 17, 18, 19, 20,000 plus are about to disappear just like the dot-com bubble. And this is how I've been building my investment thesis. And the only thing I need to change right now is making sure I'm delivering the best advice and technical analysis and mindset security I can. So very important. It's little things like that that really, make my day and allow me to know that I'm helping others. So we know Bitcoin's very sideways for basically the whole month until this recent development, and it's clearly been getting rejected at 17,000. And now if we can just get multiple two-hour candle closes and this daily with a bullish engulfing, just amazing. If we can get this close tonight at 174, 175, we could be, pretty excited about that. Let's look at some exponential ribbon average above the 34. If we can get to this 55, 17.7, 17.8, and hold a close above that over the next few days, that could be amazing. That 55 is going to be key, especially if we can get this 21 above this 34 and start to continue to get in bullish momentum and bullish posture. So clear prior resistance level, potentially gonna become a support. This 34 is key. That's why it's red. When we're above it, we can tend to see green. When we're below it, we can tend to break down, like right here. Boom. Got above it, went to the upside before breaking back down. Go back in time and pay attention to this. So, all right. Not surprising. This was the December 7th shakeout, fake out before the 8th. Not surprising because we knew that was the day of the Pearl Harbor attack of 1941. We've discussed that. So very important. All right. Alright, let's get to where we're talking about Ethereum for a minute, because there's really not much to say, but we talk about it every week. We're just going to see where it's at, we're going to see where XRP's at, and then we're going to get off of here, you guys. We've talked about plenty to discuss right now. But it's looking like a December rally towards the new moon before a potential a bull trap around the January full moon that could lead us into an even better accumulation buying opportunity. So, boom. Oh yeah. So getting back above this 1250 that we talked about in our last video. We'll go to the 2-hour time frame. Yeah. So we're starting to build another horizontal trading range between this 1250 and roughly this 1300. We break this 1300 and start setting a higher high than these previous highs. Same thing for Bitcoin. We can come all the way up to around this 1400, possibly this higher trend line of around 1450. So very important before ultimately coming down one more time in around the January full moon. It would make a lot of sense if it followed the same moves as Bitcoin. But we know ETH has been holding structure for, all the way back since June. So we've already hit our lows and held structures and hit these lows of under 1,000. So if we were to do that, that would be a macro double bottom, and that could be a beautiful setup for, on like the weekly time frame, a possible beautiful W pattern breakout, especially if we were to come down to, hold a 950 or just any kind of higher low right here. A very beautiful W pattern breakout on the weekly time frame. Beautiful. We could consider this potentially to be our neckline with a measured move that over time could take us all the way up to that 3,300 by April of next year. So we'll just have to continue to see what happens. Let's talk about XRP. Not a lot to talk about again. We can get into some moving averages if you would like. And let's see where we're at. Let's zoom out. Get this chart. Okay, so yeah, we did come all the way back down close to that 36 cent range that we were talking about in our last video. We knew that was possible. We were talking about the 223 and the 322 exponential moving averages. Those ones right there just constantly keep getting rejected from it. Nice rally right here, rejection. So let's hide those for a minute, and let's look at the 13, the 21, the 34. Alright, so we're above the 55, you guys. It looks like the 13 is above the 21, and the 13 is above the red, which is the 34. If we can get both of those above the 34, and then all three of those above the 55, we'd be in a full open alligator mouth if we got those above the 89, the 111, and the 200. Right now this 111 number is kind of, where we want to hold this 2-hour candle close, and then start getting 2-hour candle closes above this 200 exponential moving average. But ultimately still have to at some point start breaking some of these highs that have ultimately just shown a lower high downtrend. So even setting lower lows over the time as well. So still could possibly still peel over at any rejection point, even if we were to continue to pump up to this trend line or this 40 cent, 41 cent range, before peeling over again, January full moon. So basically the same thing we've been talking about. Not much, has changed, but I wanted to come out and just continue to do more. Spend some time with you guys, and do things that I think not everyone's doing, doing things differently. So with all that being said, you guys take care. God bless. I'm gonna leave it at this. Not a lot to say. I had to get up, get ready to get my son ready for school. So take care and God bless. Pioneers rise, build your fortress, and build your legacy.